We previously saw how to use image detection to do a museum app, and in this section I'm going to show you how to do image tracking, which is a new feature of ARKit 2.0. And what we are going to do is to augment a book like this, to which we're going to add the earth. And once we move the book, the image is going to stay on top. So this is the image tracking, and the big difference with detection is that it will follow and track in real time where the image is in the scene, and also its transform and size. That's very important. Okay, so let's see how we can do this together. So I have two assets here. So I have the cover of the book, and I have this, which is obviously to make the earth. So I'm going to launch Xcode beta, and I'm going to create a new Xcode project. Augmented reality app, of course, and that's going to be Earth Reality. Save on the desktop, create. Okay, so as usual, I'm just going to clean up in here very quickly. So all I'm going to keep in here is the scene views delegate equals self. Just remove a few comments in here and in here, and then I'm just going to delete everything behind it. Right. So here this is ready. Now in our assets.xc assets, I can add a new AR resource group. And in here, this is where I'm going to drag. So let me drag here, and this is where I drag the cover of my book, so the image I want ARKit to detect. And obviously I need to add a size to it. So I have measured it, and I know that it's, so in centimeters, it's about 12 centimeter in width, which is then calculated for the height as well. So 19 by 12 centimeter. Good, so here we are ready as well. What we can do now is to go to our shape.scn. So I'm going to remove this geometry, and I'm going to rename this the earth. Here as well, actually, earth. Okay, and so in scene, so let's drag first our material in here in our art.scn assets. I can make more space. Okay, so we used to drag from from the drawer here, but now in Xcode 10 we need to drag from this window here. So what I'm going to do is look for a sphere, and I'm going to put this at 0, 0, 0 for now. Make it much smaller, so 0.05 for example. And I'm going to increase the segment count to make it a bit more round. So yeah, something like 90. Oops. Yeah, okay, so that's a nice sphere, and I'm going to put this a little bit higher. So this is going to be the transform of our image anchor, and our sphere is going to be on top because it's a child node of our earth. That's going to be the node rendered for the AR anchor that we are going to detect. Now the sphere can have a different material, the earth, we 360, and there we go. So there's a bit of reflection here. That's because it's physically based, and I can change this to constant, so now it's just always going to do the same. Okay, so this is ready as well. All we need to do now is to go to our view controller and add some code to make this work. So first we need to add our image anchor, the reference image, to the A world tracking configuration. So call the configuration and detection images. So they are not image anchors, they are reference image dot reference images. So here we pass the set of reference images that we created in our group. So that was called AR resources, and it's in no bundle whatsoever because it's directly into our assets. So this is the bundle, and we have here one resource which is called realities. Good. So the configuration is set. So now 60 times per second ARKit is going to look for those images to detect. So once it does detect one of those images, it's going to add an AR image anchor for it. So what we can do is to render the node, the sphere node that we want on top of that anchor. So let's create our node here. So we can do a var earth node, which is an SCN node, and our view did load here. We can just pass our earth node equals, so SCN scene. So we're going to load from our earth scene here. So named, access the root node, and inside of the root node we have our node, so we can look through the child nodes and get the first one. Okay, so now we've got our earth node ready and we need to look for it. So we can render a node for the AR anchor now. So all you have to type is node for anchor, and in here you can see we need to return an SCN node. So what we can do here is simply to return our earth node. Obviously I'm going to show you in detail how to trigger the correct node for different anchors, but for now I'm just going to run this and let's see how it looks. Okay, so we are ready, and if I look at the book you can see that now we have detected and added the node for our anchor. However, if I try and move it, you see that it doesn't really, it's not a very smooth transition. So Apple made it really simple for us to add the tracking, and all you have to do is to add into the configuration the maximum number of tracked images, and for us it's going to be 1 because we only have 1. There's no need to put more than that, but you will see that this makes a big difference. Here we go. So if I now move the book, you can see how this is now tracked in real time. Let me now show you how you would do if you had multiple detection images in your app. So if you have multiple images in your app that you want to detect, you can go through the name of the anchor. So first we are going to try and cast this anchor as an AR image anchor. So guard led image anchor equals anchor as AR image anchor, and if not, we'll just return. So let me just keep this on the same line. There we go. Okay, so now we've got access to our image anchor, which means we have more properties like the reference image name. So image anchor dot reference image dot name. Expected else, yes, sorry, I forgot else in here. Okay, so our image anchor has a reference image, obviously, and it's got a name, so here we could switch through that name. And in here, so in case, we have, so in our case, it's called realities. Then we would return our Earth node here. And by default, you would just return nil, because this is an optional SEN node that we have to return, so here we just return nothing. Okay, so all you would have to do here is to just add more and more cases. So case book 2, and here another node, etc., etc. Okay, so let's just make sure that this still works, but that's pretty much it, really. So here we need to return nil, of course we need to return nil as well. That's the first case of a return here. Let's run the app. We have detected, and now we are tracking this Earth node. As you can see, it really moves quite well. I'm trying to really be quite harsh with ARKit right now, but I mean it's obviously a lot better than just detecting and changing the position only every second or so. Yeah, there we go. Hope you enjoyed this, and see you in the next section.